This is a testimonial I wrote in support of HR-40, which was explained to you earlier in this video. And this was on behalf of Tsuru for Solidarity, organization who is active in civil liberties and constitution in the United States. This is the testimonial letter I wrote. To Chairman Jerry Nadler and Ranking Member Jim Jordan. My name is Takeshi Tak Furumoto, Tsuru Lake segregation camp survivor and decorated and disabled Vietnam vet. And I'm in support of HR-40. My family and I experienced great injustice in this country because of race, just as the Black American has. Attached is the apology letter which I received from President Clinton in October 1993, together with monetary compensation of $20,000 for the grave injustice we received due to our racial prejudice. Let me read this letter. The White House, Washington, October 1st, 1993. Over 50 years ago, the United States government unjustly in turn evacuated or relocated you and many other Japanese Americans. Today, on behalf of your fellow Americans, I offer a sincere apology to you for the actions that unfairly deny the Japanese Americans and their families' fundamental liberties during World War II. In passing the Civil Liberties Act of 1988, we acknowledge the wrongs of the past and offer redress to those who endure such grave injustice. In retrospect, we understand that the nation's actions were rooted deeply in racial prejudice, wartime hysteria, and lack of political leadership. We must learn from the past and dedicate ourselves as a nation to renewing the spirit of equality and love of our freedom. Together, we can guarantee future with liberty and justice for all. You and your family have my best wishes for the future. Bill Clinton. It took another 25 years for the United States Supreme Court to declare Executive Order 9066 unconstitutional. In all, 75 years. But despite 75 years it took the U.S. Supreme Court to admit its mistakes, the justice has prevailed. For the Black Americans, they suffer racial prejudice since this country was founded. It is never too late to recognize our mistakes, and time has come for HR-40 to be passed. My father was a migrant farmer with just 8th grade education. He came to the United States right after Spanish flu epidemic in 1921 from Hiroshima, Japan at age 13. The school he attended in Florin near Sacramento capital was segregated, just like the school Black Americans attended in South. Was he the new kid in the block as the immigrant in the United States? He did dream the American dream. And in 1938, he did realize his dream. He founded a successful produce business in Los Angeles. But 4 years later, it was all taken away because of Executive Order 9066. In hindsight, it was a racial prejudice. The plight that American blacks faced since 1776. As an American, supporting HR-40 is a no-brainer. Today, my wife Carolyn and I are very close to passage of Korematsu Day of Civil Liberties and Constitution instead of New Jersey. The process we started during the pandemic. On October 19th last year, State Senator Lagana, who sponsored Joint Senate Resolution 95, passed it. On January 25th this year, Assemblyman Mukherjee and Blairty co-sponsored Joint Assembly Resolution 182 and passed it. On January 28, 2021, this year, State Senate unanimously approved it, 33-0. Now we are waiting for the Assembly to vote, and we are very optimistic. Our next step is federal government, or federal level. We don't want another American to face the same fate as we did because of race. We are all Americans. Footnote to this incarceration of Japanese Americans during the World War II. Despite their families were locked up in a concentration camp, many young Japanese Americans volunteered to serve in the United States Army, and yet they became the most decorated Army unit in the entire history of this country. The 442nd Regimental Unit. According to President Truman, they not only fought the war, but they fought racial prejudice. This is truly an American story of heroism. My hero is my wife, Carolyn, who had nursed me and supported me when I came home from combat in Vietnam with PTSD, combat fatigue, and exposure to Agent Orange. Without her, I may be homeless in the streets of New York City. Her parents were married in the same camp I was born, and her grandfather died in the camp. It is our fate that we met. And finally, in words of Fred Korematsu, stand up for what is right. I believe in HR-40. We are standing up for what is right. Thank you.